This, you can tell I'm excited, huh? I'm happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here. Making new friends, wonderful opportunity to share. Um, when my brother, Professor Euro, invited me, I said, yeah, let's do it. And that took forever. Let me put this guy in the front so that you can see some of these guys too. There. I'm going to try to share some of the stories behind these guys. Uh, and let me please allow me, not the arrogance, but the privilege or the sincerity, because it's not a privilege, that sounds too arrogant, to introduce myself the way I see me. There are many other things Professor Euro didn't mention, and of course we don't have time for that. But to give you context, I was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela. My parents came from Haiti. My dad was black. My mom was white. They're now with Jesus in heaven. And that's why I used to say that I'm café au lait. But my brother Lebo, the one that is the Lion King, the one that sings, oh, no, no. Said, no, Pedro, you're not café au lait. You're cappuccino. A little bit darker, you know. That's why he says that. Anyways, I am a product of many things, especially my family and movements all over the world. But my elder brother, Maestro Michel Eustache, instilled on me since I was very, very, very little, incredible variety of directions in music. And since I was very, very little, he played me many things from his, 2,000 something LPs, 2,500 LPs. Yeah, I'm talking about 60 years ago. The guy was advanced. He just turned 80 2 weekends ago. God bless him. He's in Chile now. The thing is, his Renaissance, genius vision thing affected me since I was 3. So he exposed me, he made me aware of many different kinds of music, okay? Now, before I started wrong because I said I was going to introduce myself, right? And then I went off. Anyways, my name is Pedro Eustache, as I said, and what I'm going to say is to give you context. We're in a public place, public school, so I need to be respectful. At the same time, I'm an independent artist, and I believe I have the opportunity to share from the reality of my life. At no point during this sharing that we have is my intention to be proselytizing or selling ideology or any of that. At the same time, what I do want to do is to be true to myself and not speak about something that I cannot escape from speaking from. And you will understand when I'm going to tell you the way I introduce myself. And this is not false modesty. This is not being cute. This is not, no, it's just the truth. I might be living here for 36 years, but I'm not a Hollywood guy. Sorry. I'm more like a New Yorker kind of guy. I speak. Many times I get in trouble because I'm very direct. I speak my heart. Okay? Nothing wrong with Hollywood. I'm just saying that I can navigate that. I work in that camp, but I'm very ridiculously transparent, okay? So, like I said, the way I see myself is, we didn't mention last week I was doing Avatar 3, for example, and I did the 2. Then we did Moana 2, Gladiator 2 just came out, although they didn't put my credits, but I published that on Instagram, and many things like that, and many other things. How many people have seen Kung Fu Pandas here? All of them, the 4 of them. I got something for you later. I'm going to play some stuff from there. I'm the guy that played all the flutes and that. Anyways, all these things, I have 2 recordings with Sir Paul McCartney, The last one is 3 songs I play with them. And the one before, I have a duet with Sir Paul McCartney. We just won an Oscar last year with Dune. And this year, the Grammys with Dune 2. But last year was with Encanto. So it's all these things God has allowed. That's my 4th Grammy certificate. Anyways, these incredible things. I played at the Taj Mahal. We did the Forbidden City in China. I played 4 times, recorded with Sir John Williams. All these big things, you know. But something that keeps me very humble is that none of these awards, not negating any of the significance of these huge names that I've been blessed to work with. Hans, John Powell, John Debney. None of those incredible critics will ever return our beautiful little daughter who died of cancer 36 years ago and died in our arms at the age of 3 years and 9 months. That happened 26 days after we set foot in this incredible country. Challenged with difficulties, but incredibly blessed country. So anytime that something big happens in our lives, and there is the slightest temptation for my head to get big, or any ego trip or anything like that, somehow I immediately remember where our daughter is buried. That puts me very humble, very in my place. I'm here to do my job. My job is to fulfill my purpose. My purpose is, like the great Johann Sebastian Bach said, the greatest musician in the whole history of humanity. He said that music existed to glorify God and to sublimate, to elevate the human soul. And since I am 17, I said, I want that to be my thing in life. And the Creator has incredibly blessed me with that. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. I didn't flip a switch and started playing in all these great movies. It was actually very, 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 very difficult. I remember when we got here, after that incredible loss, which, by the way, was an incredible blessing to come through the California Institute of the Arts, who granted me a full scholarship to come here, which is a miracle from God. I got both degrees, the undergrad and my master's there in jazz, but I got exposed to many, many other things. I came from Europe because before that, when I was born and raised, as I said, after studying with my brother, who was my first flute teacher, who did not let me not do music when I hated the violin with all my heart. He said, you're good for this thing, you choose something. You guys are not old enough, but there is this band called King Crimson. And in 71, oh my goodness, I'm surprised. God bless you guys. Check out a song that is called I Talk to the Wind. Are you serious? You guys know that? Oh my gosh. Professor Euro, these are my kind of people. Bro, I didn't know this generation knew that. Mate kudasai. Oh my gosh. That is beautiful. That song made me choose to play the flute. My brother is a great flute player. He still plays. When he plays in church, I want to cry because he's so amazing, so powerful what he does still at the age of 80. And when I heard that song, I went like, oh man, so you can play rock and roll with the flute. With that instrument my brother plays. In my ignorance, I thought, oh, that boring classical music thing, huh? Idiot me, of course. You know. I said, I want to play the flute, and that's how I got into this thing. A few years later, I got into La Orquesta Nacional Juvenil, that we know now as El Sistema. So where Dudamel comes from, I'm a founder member of that. In less than 2 years, that would be 50 years that I became a member of that. So I'm first generation founder member of that. Gustavo's third generation of that. So he was a kid, literally a kid, when I started. Maybe he wasn't even born. No, he wasn't born yet. Anyways, the thing is, out of that, I got a scholarship from the Venezuelan government to go Maestro Abreu. God bless him. He saw something in me, and he called me Pedrito, little Pedro, and I call him Jose Antonio, Now everybody called him Maestro, Doctor. For me, he was Jose Antonio. For him, I was Pedrito. And he sent me to Europe. So I studied in France, in Switzerland. I graduated with great masters in classical Western flute. But I was exposed while in Paris to other incredible world cultures, music from different cultures of the world, including Indian music, especially Hindustani music, and Japanese music, and Middle Eastern music, and African music. And it is very powerful. Paris is an incredibly multicultural place, and it was a great blessing to be able to get exposed to something else besides Western classical music. I returned to Venezuela, and I became the first principal solo flute player for the Simon Bolivar Symphony Orchestra, the one they call A, because Gustavo's is the B, is the younger one. And after that, we had a situation with our daughter. Then she got on treatment, and she got promised from science that she would grow old and die of old age. And we got this scholarship to come here, and we came, and then we lost her. The level of pain that someone goes through that is beyond what words can convey. And why I mention that is to tell you where this comes from. Once you feel both of your arms and your legs have been chopped off, we didn't want to live anymore, my wife and I. Some friends had an idea that was not too good to take us to San Pedro to go look at the sea, to try to, and what we felt is like getting to the edge. It was literally one step and we are with our daughter again. That level of pain cannot be described. Before jumping, we felt and as followers of Christ, we are profoundly convinced that Jesus showed up and saved our sorry butts. Excuse my French. I said, I will not be bitter, I will get better. And I grabbed life by the horns. And I am a follower of Christ. I am a Jesus freak. I play for him with all my heart. No politics, please. The Jesus I believe would cringe listening to what his name is being used for, and I'm going to leave it at that. Do we agree? I'm not gonna talk more about that. It's like the Bible I read, the Jesus I follow would not allow me to get associated with anything that I'm looking at now here. That's all I'm going to say. We can edit this later if you guys want. That's the truth. I want to clarify because now when I identify myself the way I do it, there are associations that are wrong or unfair, and I understand why they are, but I want to make sure I'm not associated with that. No. We cool? I thought I was going to be stoned here when I say this. Anyways, this gives a background to understand where we come from. My wife couldn't teach anymore. She was graduated from an art school in Paris, teaching kids. When we lost her daughter, she said, Papi, I can't do this anymore. She went to sell chicken at a place that I'm not going to mention because they're not paying us for us to do publicity for them. So you can imagine. And she did that for 7 years while I'm getting my stuff together. I'm talking about the story of my life. This is really powerful, guys. This might encourage someone here. Check this out. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. And then I'm going to go through all this stuff and show her. I promise. How are we time-wise? Are we okay? Good. Please, somebody let me know what's going on. Thank you, my brother. Excellent. We're going to have a chance at the end for Q&A, okay? So prepare your questions. I'm going to lay out my story and stuff like that in background, and I'm going to talk about movies and whatnot and soundtracks and concerts. But then I want to open the floor for you guys to ask me questions, okay? Hopefully I'll be able to answer them to the best of my ability. Having said that, When we came here was 1988, and it is very difficult. When we finished, I finished at CalArts in 1991. 3 years, I got both degrees. They hand me both the bachelor's and my master's degree because I needed to have some credits done to justify the master's that I didn't have for my undergrad because I come from a European educational system. So I had to compensate with a lot of credits for the undergrad. So I completed, by God's incredible grace, I completed all that, and my wife literally working her back off helped me while I was doing my studies. After that, it was dreadful. I don't know how many musicians do we have here? Oh, the whole floor, basically. Be encouraged, be encouraged, be encouraged. This is my story, but maybe God can bless you guys too, and you can have your own story that you can share it later with other people, and you can encourage other people as well. This thing I was doing, listen, nothing wrong with different musical expressions, okay? I was doing salsa, the music of my people. You bilongo, all this stuff. Cochero, cochero, pare cochero. I'm going all over the city playing with different groups and stuff. That it was dreadful. Not the music and everything, the situation. We're living in a mobile home around Santa Clarita, Valencia place. We stayed around because our daughter is buried there. So we stayed around CalArts. And it is like $50 a night or something, $40 a night. And my wife working like unbelievable. 7 years of that. It got to a point. Listen, this is incredible. I always say that God made me a musician to keep me humble all of my life. he got to a place that my brother Euro, remember Osmaro? Do we know Osmaro Ruiz? It's genius, super duper. He's my brother. We came here together. We studied at CalArts and everything. We were roommates and everything. The day after Osmaro arrived here, I took him to this gig. This is terrible. With Todos Estrellas, with Rudy Regalado, que en paz descanse, R.I.P., rest in peace. 22 people, this incredible salsa band, because we're, doing this party for this Colombian guy that we didn't know that he was into shady stuff. But we didn't know. And so we're doing this thing for his horses, Paso Fino horses and everything. And then, Omar was playing piano for that. And then this friend says, oh, guys, I remember my main horse's birthday is today. Can you guys play happy birthday to this horse? And Rudy, of course. So they bring the horse. They stand the horse right there. And we start, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Campesino. That's the name of the horse, Campesino. Happy birthday to you. And I'm going like, oh, how low have we ended? How low have we gone? And Omaro's playing, looking at me like. Another thing I remember extremely sad is I'm playing with another salsa band. And I see this couple, and this is a young lady dancing with this older guy. The men dancing. And all of a sudden, the guy drops. The guy died in front of me. And I'm going like, playing my tenor sax in front of this guy. And then what is human nature without the Creator? We can be a really ugly thing. The paramedics came. The guy was blue. I'm the son of a doctor, MD. I know it. The guy gets taken out, and the owner of the place, so that he would not lose business, made up that the guy revived. The party restarted. And I see the lady that was dancing with this guy dancing with somebody else. And I'm going like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. 7 years of symphony orchestra, master's degree from California Institute of the Arts, graduated with the greatest teachers in Europe. The 4 teachers I had in Europe in flute, 3 of them, I coincide with the greatest classical flute player in the world now. He's my brother. He's Emmanuel Pau. He's solo principal flute for Berlin Philharmonic. He's my buddy. That tells you the pedigree of what God allowed me to study. That without talking about Dr. James Newton Jr., Charlie Hayden, so many people at CalArts, incredible people, incredible musicians. Many of them now being number 1 in the world at what they do. Starting with incredible teachers, Indian music and whatnot. But I couldn't make ends meet. So my New Year's resolution, January 1995, was I'm going to leave music and I'm going to go sell cars. I don't care about what people will say in Venezuela. They think I'm a big deal. For them, I was like, oh, Pedro, this thing. I need to provide for my family. We couldn't take it anymore. My wife, being the strong woman who she is, blessing in my life, she said, I don't know what you're going to do if you're going to have to spend more time in your knees praying to God, but I already sacrificed my place, my side. You're good at this. You're going to make it or you're going to make it. I will not accept you giving up on this. So, no. I was like, hey, mommy. This is her. So, you can tell. 3 months after this, exactly the week after my father died, the phone rings from Hong Kong. It is Danny Reyes, my brother percussionist, calling me from Hong Kong, telling me, Pedro, I'm on tour with Yanni. He's looking for a new flute player. Would you be interested? As they say, the rest is history. My audition with Yanni was 30 seconds. Yanni saw in me in 30 seconds, imagine the level of perception of this genius guy. At what he does, nobody can touch him, ever. They said, stop, you're the guy I'm looking for. But Yanni, no, you don't need to play anymore. I heard, please, no, that's it, you're the guy. And in fact, after 1 or 2 weeks in the orchestra, he promoted me to be one of his soloists and his band. So Yanni saw in me in 30 seconds what the whole industry, with many names that I shared before, had not seen in me in 7.5 years that I was here. That was the first miracle. When they saw me in something called Tribute, which is still in the internet. Don't laugh at my hairdo, please. That's 30 years ago, literally. No, 28 years, because that's 97. I started with Yanni in 95. We did Royal Albert Hall first and everything. Anyways, I'm talking a lot. I'm just getting to the place. Because I'm going to play too. I assure you, I'm going to play. Not only talk. We should be doers, not only talkers. But the story is so powerful that I cannot not share this with you guys because I know it will encourage someone. And that changed our lives. That changed our lives. Many, 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 because once they saw me near to the Taj Mahal playing a Duduk. The whole concert started with this huge pad. And then this negrito, I start playing. people were like, who's that black guy playing that thing? And then they saw me in the same concert at the Forbidden City, literally the first Westerner that was allowed to play a concert there. In the same concert, that's called Nightingale. And I'm playing with a Chinese Disa flute made out of black jade in the Forbidden City in Beijing. My friend who played the Disa was freaking out. Where did you find a Disa out of jade? I said, you see, we're Venezuelans, man, we can. And that project blew everything on for me. From there, everybody started calling me. The word went around. And like that. Many times. What is the title of this? Uniqueness? Correct? It is announced this meeting today, I'm going to talk about uniqueness, right? Yes? Come on, wake up, please. I got some coffee. In fact, santé. Cheers, thank you. Like I need more energy, huh? Are we okay? We good? I'm not boring you guys too much yet? Hopefully I will not. Because I got so much more to share. My brother professor, mi sobrino están aquí. My nephews are here. Gaby, Dios le bendiga. God bless you guys. Now I'm even more inspired. Familia is here. So check this out. How do you work in a place where when an instrument has 6 holes, as we know, everybody got samples of everything now. So they write a part in an 88 keys in any tonality and anything, but then I show up with something like this. And it's beautiful. I use this flute and this guy here, which is beautiful. Check this out. This is called interdental technique. I had to go to my dentist for the dentist to open this slit up, literally. So I brought this and then I'm like, more. Okay, now, check this out. Goes all the way to my gum. Thank you for your encouragement. I forgot to say something incredibly important when I was introducing myself. The most important thing I forgot to say, remember that I mentioned that it was not false modesty or anything? And then again, I went, that's normal with me. The way I see myself is, after all these big, huge things and everything, I consider myself trash, professional trash, that has been rescued by the amazing mercy and grace of the Creator through Jesus. Anything of worth that I have is not because of me. It's in spite of me. You see, when I finish playing these things, how happy I am. You know why? Because it's not me, it's in spite of me. I have a PhD on spitefulness. Because I know me. Not happening. Far from perfect, yet willing and perfectible. That is the truth. So, those two things I just played, I played in that scene, that cue in the Passion of the Christ, where the adulterous woman is coming. I played those two guys. And I don't know if you guys remember the scene in the Garden of Gethsemane with the blue moon there. And Jesus is like, oh, Father, if it's possible to take this cup away from me. This is the instrument I played for that. And this is an amazing story because, talk about uniqueness. My wife and I, when we went on vacation to Kauai, we found with some hippies there, God bless them, where the bamboo forest was. In order to make a bansuri, you can go, my brother, go. Excellent. God bless you. Thanks for coming. Excellent. Say hi to your wife. She's in the hospital. We'll pray for her. Bless you, brother. Bless you. Anyways, we went to the bamboo forest and we harvested. This is a great story, man, because it's like almost like Indiana Jones. It's like marijuana was not legal back then, right? So there's plenty illegal marijuana plantations all over these things. It's just like inside, right? And it's like the guy said, man, but you need to be careful because if one of these owners of those things catches you there, you're dead meat, nobody will ever find you. So we're going over the little creek. Mommy. Like Indiana Jones style. So I got me some serious, beautiful Hawaiian bamboo. To make bansuri, we need special bamboo of a species that has very long sections with the separations, not like the other ones that are like that we know. But so that's why I harvested this there. I made this instrument. And this sounds like this. Let me see, 1, 2, let's try this one. And this is the flute. Thank you, guys. I receive your beautiful expressions, and I put them at the feet of the one that deserves this thing, the guy up there, who inspires me to make all these things and to play like this. This is a unique instrument. Even the double hole system there, I had to design that. It's a great story with that because when I started with the greatest, maybe the greatest Indian musician of the 20th century, the great Ravi Shankar, he was my master. Thank you. Man, you guys are happening. You know who that is. These are great people. I gotta come a second time, brother. Please, please, please. I'd love to. I'm serious. There's so many things I will not be able to share today. I would love to have, please, the opportunity to complete this thing, if possible, please. They don't have to pay me the next time, really. Whatever it is, I'm good. He paid me already plenty, so we're good. We're good. This is priceless. This is more than any of that stuff. The thing is, this is beautiful. Anushka, his daughter, was 13, like this. And I go there 31 years ago, July 94. Many of you guys were not even born. I already gave up my age, so it's okay. Age is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. That's another saying. That's different from the one I shared before. Anyways, and we're doing Air Bairav, which is this raga that's... But I was playing a 6-hole traditional bansuri. When you have to make half holes, it's really super duper horribly difficult. Not only that, acoustically, the sound changes because we're muting half of the hole, so there's not much venting of it. And the only person that I knew that could play without that being noticed was my other teacher, the great Hari Prasad Chaurasia, the greatest bansuri player of the 20th century. So the thing is, when I arrived to study with Raviji, I didn't have proper technique with the normal bansuri. And I was struggling, and Anusha's like machine gun, on her sitar. And then there's another guy, incredible musician, Kartik Sheshadri. He's senior. He's teaching out UCSD. Super soloist, like Ravi Shankar 2.0, And I'm like, so Raviji, great Ravi Shankar, paid me one of the most exquisite insults in my life. He said, Pedro, I'm sorry, but you sound like an elephant trying to run. And I said, okay, he's right. So what I wanted to do was to arrive home and take the bansuri and break it. But I'm stubborn enough. Some people said determined. You choose. I said, I really want to play this thing. So God gave me, like a good Venezuelan, we need to find ways. Listen, when you don't have a place where to live, sometimes the government comes and they put concrete there. And if you see the slums in Caracas, my brother is an architect, retired. He used to go see how these people built cities by themselves, out of incredible creativity, without going to any school or anything concerning that. And many of them would stand, some of course with the water here. If mansions come down in Malibu, imagine there. But the thing is, we need to find a way. And that capacity has allowed me to come up with these things. I said, I need to play this music. So I invented my own system, double holes. Now every note is difficult to play, but now they all sound even. Nobody in the world has this thing. That's why the Passion of the Christ sounded the way it did, because I'm using instruments that are unique, precious, and irreplaceable. Somebody remind me of what I just said to finish with that, please. Unique, precious, and irreplaceable. Please, somebody remind me of that, please. How much time do we have now before the half hour?
40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Before the question and answer, or 15 minutes before the question and answer?
Exactly.
15 minutes. Okay, let me run here. I want to show you some of these guys. Check this out. This is PVC. Again, unique. Talk about uniqueness. Precious. I didn't pay $8 in materials for this. but the acoustics, the science in this thing, because I'm crazy enough and I'm completely aware that I'm completely nuts. My doctor would say, but then you're not crazy because crazy people do not know that they're crazy. I said, there's an exception to every rule. Because I'm not normal. I'm not completely crazy, but I call it mi loquera santa. That's my holy craziness. And when I needed to extend instruments in the family of the bansuri, I came up with this thing. This cuts here, miter cuts, would destroy the behavior of a normal bansuri that is straight. I went and did consultations acoustics-wise with the greatest authority on flute acoustics in America, the late Dr. John Coltman. And we did research together. And he found a way to compensate for that with plates and things that are inside here. So now my octaves are completely in tune. Can you believe that PVC that I bought in Home Depot can sound like this? This is the power of science. When we put the ingredients right, then we can have tools that allow us to do incredible things. Yes, I did practice my soul out. Nobody else can play my double hole thing. I spent years developing this thing. Welcome to this party, guys. It's a good thing that this is being videotaped. You can go to YouTube and watch it later to see the first part you guys missed. But thanks for coming. Thank you. Welcome. Come in. Don't be shy. Come in, guys. Come in. We have a lot to share. Come in. Wonderful. Anyways, we did research. And by not taking no for an answer, that's another thing. We have this thing that we have to resolve. We need to find a solution. We need to find a way to make things work. But that's not everything. Check this out. Remember that I played this thing before? Ooh, I didn't play this one. Did I? I asked how many people have watched Kung Fu Panda, right? This is literally the original flute I used in all the 4 Kung Fu Pandas for that theme. Here, you're looking at it. But the amazing thing is that you heard the sound. There's a membrane. This is the Chinese Diza, okay? So many times, and again, Kung Fu Panda 4, they did the same thing. They write stuff that is much lower, very difficult to do. So, again, beautiful creativity. I open a hole, I put a membrane. So, Home Depot, $6-7, completely priceless, unique, and precious. I remember when I had my, thank you guys for coming. It's so good to see you all. Thank you guys. We shared wonderful things before you guys came, so make sure you watch this thing in YouTube afterwards, okay? I really want you guys to hear the story completely. Thing is, these are many things I have developed to, like I said before, survive, because when we go to recording sessions, they want me to play things they have composed out of samples on a full keyboard. Then I have to come up with these things. And this is a soprano version of this. When I went to New Delhi, study at the Ravi Shankar Center, and I'm so happy because I didn't tell you guys, after that insult of Maestro Ravi Shankar, when I returned with this, a few weeks later, he was blown away. We're like, oh, Pedro, he blessed me and everything. He said, but you need to patent this because in India, they're going to steal it from you. That heavy was the thing for him, was a revelation. So I'm very happy. I'm going to New Delhi, study with him again. Oh, and the Ravi Shankar Center. And he goes, Pedro, it's beautiful, really is. But it's low, like a cello. I wish I could hear something like a violin, higher. And we're like, not again. Back to the drawing board. Raviji was such a genius. If you watch Concert for George, you can see the level of genius of this maestro. 75% of all that composition, I had to, like a scribe, I had to notate from his mouth while he was singing in his house in Encinitas. I had the privilege to sit at his feet and notate, because he was like Mozart. Stuff came to him. Raviji, please, 1 second, let me make sure. And then he goes, no, you were going to, okay. Incredible. That thing is the first Grammy I won as a participant in something. I won a Grammy. And it forced me to go back and make this, which is higher than this. I still have so many other things to do. Please Lord, guide me, because I got too many things to share. So far we're good, huh? Yeah. Let me tell you guys what is this. Okay, let me cover this, and then I'm gonna do something completely crazy. I'm gonna make myself completely vulnerable to you guys, but that's how sincere I am. We'll see what happens, okay? You see these things here, you can see basically 40 years of my life in here. These are heads from traditional flutes that I have literally adapted from flutes of the world. This one here is another one that I used, because you guys in America, talk is cheap. This is my flute version of the Chinese Diza. Check this out. I don't know which flute this goes in because I got two flutes and I never remember in which one it goes. Yeah, this one. Uh-huh. Gotta stretch that membrane here. It doesn't sound like a normal Western flute, right? So I use this in Kung Fu Panda 4 as well. Because sometimes I have things in different keys. I have like 80 Dizas. They go from piccolo, like a xylophone, and have 14 and a half racks like that. That's right. This is not even 20% of what I have. Anyways, this proves the point that this flute... Check this out. I did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then times. I did this one out of, oh man, I left the double thing. We left it out there. It's okay. The double tarca. This is from a tarca from the Andes. No, it's the big one. Oh yeah, it is. Of course, you know better than me, brother. What's wrong with me? Shish kebab. Well, this one is another invention because normally this is only one flute, okay? This is like this. So I put them two together because they played in troops. But if you see one of them is this. This is the normal long one. So I made this guy to be put on top of this flute to be played as a tarca for, how do you call the machines? Transformers 4. The machines. So I literally made this for Transformers, right? So check this out. Then I made this guy here, Native American flute. Sorry, that's an insult because these people were here before this place was called America. First Nation people. I know better. And forgive my ignorance when I said it before wrong. So I made this for Airbender. I made this thing. Then, let me see what else I have for. Oh my gosh! You gotta see this. Moana 2. Sit down, put your seatbelts. I guarantee you've never seen this thing. This is a traditional flute from the Pacific area. And it's played like this. This is a nose flute. and I made this for Moana 2 because I played Moana 1. And then I said, so many years after, now I have some knowledge. Then I can give them more tonalities and things. So I made this. The great thing about this, you see, this is all based in science, in acoustics. To be able to take the proportions right and to make it work, it is. And I also did research with Dr. Peter Eustache. He teaches, he's a super PhD that teaches at a university in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. He's my brother. many of these things I did because of him. In fact, this thing that I made, that put inside my gum, came as a result of the two of us doing research. Because I could take it to a certain place, but then he helped me get it to the place I needed to be completely in tune. So I love him. Peter is my brother. I love him. Anyways, what happens with this, there is a flute that is, the story is beautiful. And I think we're finishing now, huh? For the game. Excellent. It's played like this. It has only 3 holes, so they can hold it with this hand and play like that. And then with the other hand, they close the other nostril. Sorry. You can hear my Spanish still, huh? Sorry, nostril. 36 years are not enough. And they play. But I said, heck, I need both of my fingers, both of my hands. Both of my hands. So I put this thing here, which is from the. And then this closes my nostril, and then. Beautiful sound, huh? And you know the tradition, what it says, which is so beautiful, and I finished with this. Why do they play with their nose? Because they say that with the mouth, you curse. You can hurt people, you can say horrible things. But the air that comes out of your nose is pure. So when they're gonna go get the lover, they serenade them. They serenade the lady with this thing because it's pure. It's a pure expression. It's a beautiful thing. Now, I said I'm gonna finish risking making a fool of myself. And I'm gonna use, I didn't play the bass flute. How many people here are gamers? Have you heard of Flute Guy? Yeah, Flute Guy. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna play something from the internet, yes. I want to do something completely crazy. I have promised Professor Euro I was going to do it, and I'm a man of my word. I might not have money, but I have some sense of honor and dignity. So, this head joint you see here, it's an amazing thing. This is a head joint for a Western classical flute, or normal Western flute. Normal. A Western flute, everything is normal. That's normal, everything. Otherwise, it's stupid Western European thing. Excuse my ignorance. I still need to learn. You can tell. Anyways, this is for a Böhm Western traditional flute. And what I found out while playing, oh my gosh, Euro, you don't know this story. We were playing together when this happened. We were playing with Dudamel at the Hollywood Bowl, and we're doing Libertador. And when I was playing, man, this is a beautiful story. This is connection, you and I. Professor Euro and Alex Acuña, we're playing El Culo de Puya. Don't ask me about that. That's the name of the drum. Culo de Puya. Because the end of the drum is small, so that's the butt. So it's penny butt, literally, in Spanish, culepuya. Anyways, it's because after I graduated as a classical Western flautist, and I returned home from friends in Switzerland, great masters, everything. I said, I'm the first flute player in the orchestra. I'm teaching at the conservatory, but I need to know my music too. So I got my butt back to the workshops of traditional Venezuelan music, and I studied 2 years Afro-Venezuelan drums, and I have my diplomas on that. Heck. Anyways, while we're doing that concert, I played many flutes. Remember that. I had made an acoustic mistake. I'm finishing now real quick. And a proportion that was inside, I did too big. And I had to compensate. And I compensated, put in a wedge that was flexible so that they were playing. And when I play, like we all do, I take no prisoners. I kill. Like in between the eyes, no questions asked. And I'm playing, and when I play so loud, the wedge would turn. So I have to be. So what I did is I'm doing like this, like that, and I realized that by doing that, I changed the sound of the instrument. So I went back to a machinist, and I got this thing made. It's a secret, huh? That allows me to put it here, and as I change, the sound changes. Then I went. God is the most amazing person that allows me to learn stuff from serendipity. It's a beautiful thing. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in God incidences. Big time. So I copied the concept of that in here. So hopefully we can hear the difference. It's very subtle, but check this out. This is... much purer now. The other one was almost like a wood flute. Much rounder, right? The other one? I'm being extreme now. Almost like another instrument. So this is a pretty powerful thing. It's the only one in the world. Unique. Irreplaceable. Precious. So I'm going to use this guy, who's the only one in the world, and let's compose something together. Yeah. I'm just going to ask you, somebody give me a note. Somebody. E flat. Flavor, a note. Yes, E flat. So it's okay, it's okay. E flat. What note do you want to give me? Any note, quick, we have no time. C. 1 second, please. Let me make sure this is good. I need another note, somebody. B. B like buffalo? No, that's 4 notes. So, which one do I do? B or A? B, okay. Sorry, bro. Okay. Now, I have never done this before. I have before done in public an improvisation with notes you guys give me. But I'm going to up my ante today. I'm completely crazy. And I'm going to ask you, should I do a waltz? Or should I do something Latino? See? Okay. Somebody give me clave, please. Yes, let's do it. I'm ready. Thanks for this. So we have the copyright, huh? We did this together. Q&A now. Come on, come on. Quick, quick, quick. Ask me questions. Ask me questions. Come on, come on. Please. That's very difficult for me to answer. It's an incredibly powerful concept. I don't know how to answer that. There are people, how do they call that? I think you should ask one of those guys how to do that. Because I work with great people that do music for film, and they have a special gift to be able to convey the narrative that is visual and to reinforce that. Oh man, guys, I'm sorry. I gotta play something else. I'm so sorry. Can I do this? Please, 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 because this is too precious. I'm sorry. Lord, please help me because I have no time. We're gonna go there as well. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, paint without ink. Now, check this out. This is a Duduk from Armenia. Yes, Vonces, Inchesanum, lava, shot lava. Huh? Okay, I'm gonna take this out because there's no time for this. Save. Okay, and where is that thing that I had? Here it is. I'm getting ready of something I had prepared, but that means I have to come back again, definitely, guys. There's stuff I couldn't do today, really. I'm not, it is true. Okay, here we go. My bros too, can we check the sound of the computer to see how this goes? Do we have sound? Is it loud enough? Okay. So, how many people have watched Dune? And Dune 2? Check this out. This is an amazing story of this Duduk. Please do. A little bit louder, please. In the house too. a unique Duduk. Duduk has single holes. This Duduk has many double holes, and the last one has 4 holes on my pinky. Hans asked me, Pedro, you have to play that slow melody that Loire, this genius singer from New York, sings. And I said, Hans, you're crazy. Duduk doesn't get that low. He said, well, that's your problem. And I had to make this. My Duduk went up to here. I had to close this hole here and prolong all this thing, elongate the range so I'm able to play the thing. This is the only Duduk in the world without a key, because you could do it with a key, but I don't want a key. This is a... And again, unique. Precious. Irreplaceable. And in my hands, I can make music nobody else in the world can do. Remember this. You're unique, you're precious, you're irreplaceable. And in the hands of the Creator, He will make music out of you that nobody else in the universe can make. You guys are going to tell me, Pedro, 1 second, that's you with all those instruments and everything and whatnot. I'm not too good at that. What do we use a pen for? What good is a pen without ink? Trash, nothing. But that which is considered trash, good for nothing, without purpose, without any validity, in the proper hands, what is normally thrown in the garbage, the power of this illustration is profoundly significant. How many of us haven't heard or felt somehow, I'm not good for anything? I'm trash. I don't have what he has. Pedro has 600 instruments. I don't have anything. Who freaking cares? Excuse my French. God made each one of you guys. And even when there's a messenger directly sent from the depth of hell that will tell you in your ears that you're not good for nothing, you're telling me, you stupid idiot, get out of here. Because I'm made by a Creator with purpose. In that which some people might think that I am, that I'm good for nothing, that I have no validity, that I have no purpose, and His hands, He will make music out of me like none of those idiots can do. More questions, quick, I'm sorry. Speak up, Jonathan, loud. If I get a dime for each time this question was asked, I'll be a billionaire. Elon Musk will be an idiot compared to me. That's a wonderful question, Jonathan. And the answer is not easy, but I'll tell you my reality. I go through waves. I remember vividly, I'm not being cute, I'm speaking the truth. I remember vividly when I could not do what I just did with the 3 notes you guys gave me. I remember when I could not do that. I remember vividly when I spent 3 days without playing the flute. When I picked the flute, I couldn't make a sound out of it. I remember that. That is not the reality anymore. I remember when I used to take this guy inside my gum, I couldn't get a sound. Somehow, by going through different things, when we do different projects and different things, then I have to emphasize whatever it is I'm using for that. Now I got to a point. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I forgot because I have the name and I forgot. In chemistry, there is this thing, which is a tube like that with many different tubes, one like that, another one like that. In Spanish, we say the vasos comunicantes, that you put liquid and then all of them will go together, even though the shapes are different, connecting vessels, something like that. Anyways, it's like a chandelier, but it's out of liquid. So glass, but you put liquid on it, that's what I mean. And although they're very different shapes and different sizes, once you put water or some liquid in some, they all will go. I am old enough, some people will say mature enough in my craft, that these things, and something I want to say, sometimes not knowing something is a great blessing. Yanni didn't go to school for music. He's a psychologist, and he's a genius at the music he does. When I'm playing with him, he said, Pedro, I don't want people to know that you're a great flute player, but you're okay sax player or playing Duduk, because that was my consolation. You know, it's like, okay, I'm really good at the flute. I can kind of suck the other things. He said, no. You need to be so strong in everything you do that people do not know what is your main instrument. And I'm going like, are you crazy? You can't do that. But he was my boss, like Hans with the Duduk. He's like, that's your problem. You solve it. He forced me to become so strong at anything I do that people now doubt what is my main instrument. And I haven't shown you guys the electronics. Next time. That thing there, that black thing you see there, has a sensor that can read the movement of my tongue, and I can affect the sound from that. So that next time, that's just a little example. Anyways, the thing is, through the years, there's so many hours accumulated, Jonathan, doing this thing, that now, when I go with Hans on stage, I play 21 instruments, bro. And I jump from one to the other, from Lion King to The Last Samurai, from Gladiator to whatever. It's like almost second nature now. I don't have to think. You guys saw it. It took me 60 years to get here. Another question. Does that work more or less? And extremely important. I'm sorry, and I'll finish, and then you go, and then you go. You discover that there are instruments that are like, if I do a lot of Duduk, my soprano's going to soar. My soprano sax. Because Duduk is so difficult that when I'm really good in Duduk, when I play the soprano, you know, and Bansuri is so difficult. When I started really Bansuri, my flute soars. So there are things like that are transferable, that if you do a lot of this, then a whole family related somehow to that will benefit from that. Even doing, you're not going to believe this, even doing the electronics would help. Check this out. This tongue is cheap. Listen to this sound, please. This is my flute, okay? It's like 3 different instruments. And it's all because of this. Because since I do synths, I have many modular things with, cables and all that stuff. I've been doing that for 40 years. And what happens is, once you start working with filters and things like that, and many other modules, your ear gets affected. And by being affected by doing that, like when you do a wah-wah, I can do that with that. Acoustically, I transfer things. And then from here, I want to transfer the expressiveness of my Duduk, and I do, into that. So all the things at the end, Jonathan, they are connected, like vasos comunicantes. You had a question. Speak up.
How did you get the opportunity to play with Hans Zimmer, and what do you recommend for musicians
Well, that's a wonderful question. Maybe you were not here at the beginning of the thing. I explained how I got into movies. That's how I got into Hans. Because of Yanni's exposing me through, that was the gig that changed my life. And they opened the doors of all the film music thing, and that includes Hans. So when he saw that, he called me. Yeah, that was since, I believe I started with him 2008. This is a long time, and we did Pirates of the Caribbean and all those things and like that. But the funny thing is, he asked me, I had probably 600 instruments or something, and he asked me to do something I don't do, and I told him no. And you don't say no to somebody like Hans Zimmer. But my first reaction, response to him was, no, I don't do that. I don't do panpipes. I'm not good at that. I can fake it, but I'm not good at that. Call me to do something I'm good at. And so we met each other, and it's beautiful playing Duduk. It's a beautiful thing because I wanted him to hear me playing the Duduk. And he said, you guys all, because I said, as a foreigner, Armenians tell me that I have a really good expression. I'd like to show you that. He said, I use the masters and everything. Oh, okay. So we're doing Pirates or something like that, and he came like 3 months later, and we're like, Pedro, you remember the time that you wanted me to hear you play Duduk and I dismissed you so utterly? And I said, yeah. Well, guess what? I heard, what is the name of the movie? I will remember. Anyways, I heard such and such movie, and I said, what the heck is that Duduk player? Who is that? And when I saw at the end, the Duduk player was... So from that day on, he called me for Duduk and nobody else. Yeah. And what I would recommend, listen, there is no easy answer to that. There is no recipe for that. The title of this sharing time is Uniqueness. While pursuing to develop the uniqueness I felt God put in me and God asked me and God made me develop, that's the time to go, huh? All right. Okay. We should have done that 10 minutes ago, not 1 minute before. Anyways, by doing that, I did not take this as a career strategy. I did it because I was obeying something I felt from above. As a consequence of that, check this out. I went from here, I went like here. When I turn my back, I go like, oh my gosh. I didn't plan that. I ended up here. And as a consequence of that, not only because of the instruments I have, but also because of the expression God inspires me to play with. We call that the anointing. They have to call me. That's a very powerful, beautiful thing. There's a place in the scriptures, very powerful, says that God puts in us as much the wanting as the doing. And that Creator can bless the work of our hands. That is my story. Last question because we're late.
For someone who's interested in creating flutes, to building flutes, how would you recommend? Well, how did you start getting?
That's a great question, and that's an easy answer. Now you have it more than ever. You have the internet. When I started, there was no internet. I started 40 years ago, and the first thing I did was a shakuhachi out of PVC. And I used to, when I was in Paris, studying at the Hector Berlioz Conservatory and at the École de Musique d'Anières, one of my teachers, Pierre-Yves Artaud, super genius, was the president at the time, was the leader of an institution called the IRCAM, which is a center of research of acoustics and electronics sponsored by the government. And they had workshops of acoustics. That was my first introduction to acoustics. There's this lady, doctor called Michelle Castellango, and I have her thesis in flute acoustics. And I'm talking about 1982, okay? You guys were not born. Of course not. Anyways, I have her thesis still to this day. And she's the one that introduced me to this. And when I went from there, now I have books. Listen, remember this name, Bart Hopkins. He said, "Oh, guys, get me real quick, my brother. Quick. Go get me the thing, yeah, quick. I have one more thing to show you guys. Can I please? It is too precious. Please, bro, bring it quick. Because you're going to see, I learned this thing from Bart Hopkins. Out of your question, I remember this. He made a book on how to make flutes with Bart Hopkins. How many people watched Brother Bear? The movie. Okay. Yeah, my brother, come to Papa. Yeah. Let's do this real quick. I knew I had forgotten something. Thank you, my brother. Right there. Towards you, like this. This is an ostrich egg, literally. This is the first sound. This is the first sound you hear in Brother Bear. That's why, what's his name? The drummer for Genesis? Phil Collins calls me Eggman because of this. Guys, I'm sorry, we ran out of time. I knew it was going to be short. I am so sorry. I am so grateful. Thank you. My brother.